Welcome back. This is Good Morning Namibia. Now, accreditation is crucial in the sense that it provides assurance to both learners, students and employers that the qualifications they hold or consider accepting are of a high standard and align with national quality assurance requirements. Accreditation also promotes transparency and credibility in the education system, giving individuals as well as institutions the confidence to invest time and financial resources in pursuing valid and recognized qualifications. This morning we're delighted to be joined by Madam Lina Ndengu, Marketing and Corporate Communications Manager at the Namibia Qualifications Authority. Good morning, ma'am, and welcome to Good Morning Namibia.
Good morning, Denver. Thank you for having me.
I'm told we should take a leaf from the Kenyans. They say Happy New Year until the 15th of June every year. So we're still quite a few months away from the 15th of June, so a very happy and healthy New Year to you.
Thank you. Same to you. May the year be blessed for you, Denver.
Thank you so much. We just heard from the City Police that vulnerable Namibians fall victim to various forms of dishonesty by fellow Namibians and perhaps by also visitors or those lurking in the virtual space. Before we get into the particulars of our discussion this morning, could you share with us whether or not the tertiary education space, the higher education space, is also a space where Namibians could fall victim to dishonesty on the part of others?
Denver, basically, right now, this is the time where a lot of young people are desperate. They finished their grade 11 or grade 12, the AS levels, and they're looking for what to do next. They might not have qualified to do the AS levels, so they're looking at what should I do next. And they're really desperate to get to do some form of formal or higher institution, education at higher institutions, and you'll also find that a lot of new institutions have suddenly popped up. A lot of bogus institutions that are not accredited, that are not offering accredited qualifications. So this is a time where young people are really very vulnerable, and that is why the NQA really wants to come out and really just inform the young people that please make sure that you do informed decisions before you enroll at any institution.
That brings us to the first question as far as the official business is concerned. What constitutes accreditation, knowing that that is what resorts within the mandate of the Namibia Qualifications Authority?
Denver, the NQA basically is mandated to do accreditation for institutions of higher learning, universities, colleges, nursing institutions, so that we ensure that they provide accredited qualifications. So what the NQA does is we accredit the institution as well as the qualifications that they offer. So this institution basically go through a vigorous evaluation process where we ensure that the qualifications that they offer is legal and authentic. And this basically ensure that they meet the set quality standards for education, as well as adhere to the criteria that is set out for quality education in the country.
That is fascinating. So not only is the institution accredited, but also whatever it offers. That means that if I apply for accreditation with the NQA as an institution and that is granted, it doesn't now mean that henceforth I may offer any qualification without, again, knocking on the door of the NQA to have the courses, to have the programs, to have the offerings looked at.
Exactly, Denver. So it's very important that young people really ensure that, yes, the institution might be accredited, but some of the courses that they are offering or qualifications that they are offering might not be accredited. So it's very important that you ensure. For Namibia, we do have a list of all our accredited institutions, as well as the course offerings or qualifications that are accredited. So you might find that, yes, they are offering a course, but it's still in the process of accreditation. So yeah, it's very important that young people really ensure that they make sure that whatever course or qualification they enroll in is at an accredited institution and it's accredited as well.
A couple of scenarios that pop up in the event that I've applied for accreditation as an institution and that has been granted, and I've now also applied subsequently to have my programs accredited, and that process is still pending. Am I allowed to start offering those, just provided I inform my clients, being the students, that what you are pursuing at the moment is an accredited institution, yet the program as such has not been accredited, but that process is pending, and here's the documentation from NQA.
Yes, Denver, basically what happens is you might find that even one of the universities or the higher institutions that we have in the country, like UNAM, IUM and NAS, they might have a course, knowing that the institution is already accredited, they might have a new course that they've basically introduced. So what they do is then they apply it at the NQA for accreditation for that specific course, and what the NQA does is it provides a letter to say that yes, the institution is accredited, but this specific course have been applied for accreditation and it's still in the process. So we basically provide a letter then to the institution. And what we do then is we go through the vigorous process of ensuring that they do adhere to the specific standards that are set out to ensure that these qualifications are really legal and authentic to offer. That's why it basically does happen. And basically what the NQA also does, we make sure that we really assist the institutions to make sure that they meet the standards. And it's like a back and forth process until we ensure that these qualifications are accredited.
When we refer to institutions of higher learning, are we also talking about those offering technical and vocational training and education?
Yes, the TVET vocational training centers also fall under accreditation from the NQA. So NQA is the only one that basically does accreditation for all institutions in the country, whether it's vocational, whether it's health, medical, universities. So if you decide to bring up a college for specific courses that basically is of higher learning, all that is basically done by the NQA.
A parent, a pupil, a prospective student tuned in at the moment may wonder, I didn't perform as well as I wanted to in my ordinary level exams last year. What I do want to do is just learn a trade. And there is this small institution close to our house that offers a course in welding. It isn't accredited, and the proprietor, the owner, is transparent about that fact. Why is it necessary for me to pursue a course that's accredited? Why is it necessary for me to pursue an accredited course at an accredited institution if I just want to learn the skill and have it and then earn some money?
Denver, you know, the most important thing is studying at an accredited institution is to ensure, first of all, for example, if you decide to do a TVET for welding, you might want to further your studies. So now you've studied at an unaccredited institution, you can't get your credits transferred to a different university or institution. Because
so it can't be recognized?
It cannot be recognized because it's not legal, so it holds no value. That's number one. Secondly, you've wasted then a year of studying, your resources, your finances, your time, so that basically it's just water.
So the consequences of attaining qualifications that are not accredited at perhaps an accredited or an unaccredited institution are that firstly, I can't further my studies, and in the event that a prospective employer requires me to submit proof of such qualifications, I cannot indicate that those are accredited qualifications.
Denver, if you actually notice, lately most of the employees have been asking for the evaluation of your qualifications, a letter from the NQA. So this is where NQA come in with accreditation of qualifications. So if you have studied at a bogus university, your qualifications is not recognized. This also basically ensures that you don't get employment because employees want to ensure that what you studied holds value. So if it's not from an accredited institution, you will struggle to get employment. So it's really advisable that young people study at institutions that are accredited and the qualifications are accredited in order to secure jobs.
I think it's also important to define what constitutes a bogus institution in the event that it's a legally registered business entity that offers this qualification that is not accredited. And the institution is also not accredited, yet the business entity is formally registered. Am I able to, as a former student of that institution, after having attained that unrecognized qualification, to approach the NQA to then accredit my qualification after the fact?
Denver, basically your qualification holds no value. The fact that it is done at an unaccredited institution, number two, the fact that the qualification is unaccredited, it definitely holds no value. So unfortunately, it's your time, your resources wasted. And also notice that Denver, what you can do then basically is you'll have to take it up with a specific institution. You can go to the Namibian police and lay a case against them, because there is nothing the NQA can do. That is why we're busy giving out this information right now. And sure, find out, go to the NQA and find out whether these institutions in Namibia are accredited, or whether it's the qualifications are accredited as well.
May any member of the public approach the NQA and say, I'd like to pursue studies in this field at this institution. Are you aware of its existence, number one? If yes, is it an accredited institution? Or do I need to submit specific documentation that I've lodged an application at the institution, and this is where the process at before the NQA would share such information with me, or is it in the public domain?
Denver, anyone can basically approach the NQA. They can fill in a form. It's a 7-day process where you can basically confirm if the institution is accredited and the qualifications they offer. We also have students that want to study abroad, basically. You might find that the university they want to go study and is definitely accredited. The qualifications is accredited, but there's always that thin line where the country, or the qualifications authority in that country might say that if this course is offered outside the country, basically then if it's not a face-to-face a tutorial or basically a course, if it's not done face-to-face, you might find that this qualification is not accredited. So you might spend a year studying, which is scenarios that we've had last year and the year before that, where students basically enrolled at a local college that just popped up. They are basically having the course outline and all the information from the university, or they've got a franchise with a university, say for example in Malaysia. And yes, the university is accredited in Malaysia, the course is accredited, the qualification is accredited in Malaysia, but the Malaysian authority would then say, if this course is done outside Malaysia, it's not accredited. But what happens is that the institutions in Namibia then do not inform students that if you do this course from Namibia, online from Namibia, it's not accredited. So you'll find that after 2 years of studying, the students end up with no qualifications because it holds no value.
In the event that the institution is recognized, i.e. accredited in Malaysia, as the case in point, and so is the qualification, and also if you pursue it elsewhere, i.e. online from Namibia, it's still accredited in Malaysia, would the NQA still do its own vetting to accredit that particular course and entity for the qualification to hold value in Namibia?
Denver, what the NQA does is we encourage young people to come. So whether you want to do an online course from anywhere in the world, come to the NQA, fill in the form, give the specific details that you want to do it online at the university, say in Malaysia, so that we can basically, what we do is we contact the qualifications authority then in Malaysia, and they share this information with us to say, if this course is done online, it is accredited or it's not accredited. So it's very important that before you really pursue any studies
and pay any money,
any fees, come to the NQA, do this formalities. It's for free. The service is done for free. You're not paying to find out whether the institution is accredited, whether it's abroad or in the country.
Does one need to be physically present to complete the form and submit the application, or can one submit the application virtually?
They can also submit it virtually. They can basically go onto our website at www.namqa.org. They can then download the application and fill it in. It's called the application for status for accreditation of an institution. They complete that and they can send it back to the NQA at advice@namqa.org, and then we can basically then go back to them and give them the information. If it's a Namibian institution, we have a list of all Namibia accredited institutions on our website as well. They can then access this list. They can have a look at it because the list contains the institution that is accredited as well as the qualifications that are accredited that they currently offer.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your expertise so generously and so altruistically.
Thank you so much for having me, Denver.
That was Madame Lina Ndengu. She's the Manager Marketing and Corporate Communications at the Namibia Qualifications Authority, talking to us about what constitutes accreditation and why it is important to enroll at an accredited institution for an accredited program. We will be back after a break.